Why do we pledge ourselves to a faith if we don't intend to follow its teachings? It's a question worth pondering, isn't it? To be a Christian means to adhere to the commandments handed down by the Lord. These commandments aren't mere suggestions or options. They are divine guidelines meant to shape our lives and our relationships with the world around us. Take, for example, the Israelites, the first people to experience the full benefits of a relationship with the Heavenly Father. They stand as a testament to the rewards of obedience and the pitfalls of disobedience. Their stories, etched in the pages of the Bible, mirror our own experiences and provide answers to our most troubling questions. But to fully grasp these lessons, we must delve into the context of these stories. We must understand the original language, discern the intended audience, and comprehend the true meaning of the words used. This is not an exercise in personal interpretation, but a journey towards divine understanding. The Bible, inspired by God and penned by 40 different authors, is a collection of 66 books that serve as a reminder of His laws and commandments. These instructions, found in both the Old and New Testament, are our guide on how to live our lives in anticipation of the return of Christ. Imagine a scenario where a parent leaves for a trip, providing their child with a detailed list of do's and don'ts. The child nods in agreement, but as soon as the parent leaves, they disregard the instructions and the house burns down as a result. Now, when the parent returns and sees the mess, they ask the child why they disobeyed. The child simply responds, "That's not how I interpreted it, the letter." Would you, as the parent, let it go, or would you discipline your child? This parable serves as a reminder that God, our Heavenly Father, has set down rules for us, His children, to follow. If we choose to ignore His commandments and continue in sin without shame or conviction, then perhaps Christianity is not the right path for you. In summary, being a Christian means adhering to the commandments, just like the Israelites of old. It involves understanding the Bible in its original context and applying its teachings to our lives. It's about obedience, not personal interpretation. Personal interpretation will lead one to design God into their image instead of the other way around. This can and sometimes lead one down a path of many deceptive ideologies, theories, and beliefs that can tear you away from the way, the truth, and the life. You can also end up being furious at God because you thought He promised you something, but in actuality, the promise was never given to you at all. And finally, it's about living a life that anticipates the return of Christ. Our lives are not to be centered around fame, fortune, and fun, but though persecution physically, mentally, and spiritually, we ought to look like Christ when He returns for us. And that is not to be manicured and pampered, but to be bloody, bruised, and beaten because the world rejected us and our message about Christ. I urge you not to skip over these words because this how true Christians should be living out our lives. Remember, Christianity is not about convenience. It's about commitment to Christ's commandments. It's not about interpreting the rules to suit our desires. It's about aligning our lives with God's commandments. So let us reflect on our commitment to our faith and strive to live in accordance with the teachings of the Holy Scriptures.